Hi guys, PABrewNews. Got a crowler here from the Hitchhiker Brewing Company in Pittsburgh, the real Pittsburgh man. Picked this up when I was down there before we went to the beer port in Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh in the southwestern area. Okay, got a vinyl player and I totally didn't even check to see what volume it was in, so hopefully it's not too damn loud. This one is a pretty crazy one. This one is a Hole Punch. Yo, Craig, I knew you'd show up. Hole Punch Jelly Donut IPA. 7% alcohol by volume. So I picked this up, like I said, I picked this up when I was down there. Obviously, I was down there for a little bit ago. This has been in the refrigerator because I was told to put crowlers in the fridge if you're not going to drink them right away. But just to make Joe go, what in the hell, before I drank it, I put it in a nice big thing of real hot water just to warm it up. That's why it's wet down here. Can't have fridge cold beer. No. So now it's hot, ready to go. It kind of hurts my fingers, it's so warm. So let's get it to go. And proper glassware. Hashtag Joe. Proper glassware. Let's get into the Hole Punch Jelly Donut IPA from Hitchhiker Brewing Company from Pittsburgh. And so holy crap. Did not expect it to look like that. Pouring out, very similar to a, I don't know, like a cherry puree look, almost maybe like the inside of a jelly donut, that kind of a thing. But yeah, very like cranberry or cherry puree kind of a color. Not a little, just faint touch of it in the head, mostly a white head though, but very haze for the days. Can't see through this at all. Very murky. All right, let's get an aroma. Okay, that's different. Grapefruit, tangerine, clementines, cherries. Very peppery, very bright, very juicy, real zesty grapefruit, real zesty of that tangerine clementine, really bright, like a cranberry, not cranberry, but more like a cherry coming out. Maybe a hint of cranberry, but mostly cherry. Mixing in with all those other, wow, this is a juice bomb. Let's check it out. Cheers. Jelly donut, baby. Yeah, got cranberry and cherry, definitely kind of those qualified fruits. Subtle tartness, sweet tartness, grapefruit, lemon, hints of grapefruit and lemon there at the front, then that cherry tartness kind of comes in too, hint of cranberry, those nuances. It's not very sweet. And it's not very bready and doughy either for the name. Let's get a little bit more in the glass. See if there's some more stuff that's gonna come with it with a violent pour. Just in case. I got a crowler. I can go all day. Obviously, you get some of those wet graininess, a little bit of a breadiness in the background, but it's not into that dessert breadiness. It's just more like just that thick sedimentation breadiness. you don't really get a profound sweetness. And I noticed that with some of their other beers. It had an empty middle end. It had an empty middle, rather, not end, empty middle, where you're like, there's something that's supposed to be here, like a tartness or a sweetness or something. And it was kind of bland in the middle. This has that same kind of character. You're getting things at the beginning and nuances of things at the end, but there's nothing going on in the middle so much. .7% alcohol by volume. Drink it all day. Drink this all day. Hint of a soft, little oily bitterness, but not an earthy bitterness. Just more of those oils from those hop oils working around your palate, causing a little bit of a dryness and a bitterness. But again, that's a little bit of a tartness from that cherry cranberry note. It is slightly bready, but not in that kind of what you would expect from a donut dessert breadiness, or just, I don't know if this is supposed to be just the filling inside a donut. I don't know. They got that kind of tart cherry down pack. Real nice. It has that super nice, bright, zesty note right up the front. Grapefruit and a lemon quality. And then it goes into that little tart bit of cranberry and cherry. But I'm just lacking that kind of sweetness. So I was like, that kind of lactose, confectionery sugar sweetness, breadiness that you would expect with something with this kind of name, per se. I think so. Anyway, I'm kind of going on that line, that whole donut thing. It's nice. It's drinkable. It's definitely not dry because of all that sedimentation that's in there. Has like I said, a slight kind of bready-esque quality. So it's definitely got a medium body. Very haze for days. Medium body. It's just not delivering anything to the forefront in that middle palate where things should be coming out that are kind of dessert-like. So it starts nice and zesty, ends nice and tart. That's it. Does that make sense? I think it does. Excuse me. I think it makes sense. And the rest of it is just a kind of those qualities are riding on a very nice body, but a blank palate, basically. It's not sweet, not dry. Just sedimentation. You know what I mean? That kind of soft, bready sedimentation. That's what it's riding on. So. And the hops haven't died out at all. Especially in the nose. The nose is crazy. A little mustiness, like a peach in there in the nose, too. I have another IPA from these guys called the Urban Evidence. Double IPA. I have that. I got to try. And then I have a beer called the Triple Shake, which is like an 11% Imperial Porter with coffee and chocolate, I think. So really looking forward to that one. Got a little thing going on my Twitter right now. I'm almost at 1,000 followers on my Twitter. I'm 2 away from 1,000. So as soon as I hit 1,000, I'm going to do Taurus the Tyrant Bourbon Barrel Age, because I figure that's something to celebrate, and that's a beer that you need to open for a celebration. Works for me. But it's definitely different. Like, this tastes to me, I'm not trying to talk about style too much, but this tastes to me like a really good sessionable version of kind of like a Berliner with cherries, but with a New England IPA kind of base to it. It's really crazy what I just said there. I just said nonsense. I know I just said nonsense. Because you take that and you put cherries in it and a little bit of fucking lactobacillus with that lactose sugar just to give it a nice body, hint of tartness, and then with that nice cherry end, that's what it kind of tastes like. It's different. It's a different beer. Hole Punch Jelly Donut IPA. Did they nail it? I don't think so. I was really hoping they did, though, because I was really excited to get like this kind of like funnel cake. I don't know, Craig, if you ever had a funnel cake, but that kind of funnel cake batter sweetness kind of coming out, breadiness, mixing with that. I knew there would be some kind of a subtle fruit and tartness, you know, because of the cherries and whatnot, etc. And because they're kind of tart and sweet at the same time, the jelly donut filling. So I was kind of expecting and hoping that kind of quality, and I didn't really get it. So it's like, still a fine beer. I'm trying to one-up Joe by doing some crazy Haze for Days IPAs because, you know, everyone's supposed to follow Joe's footsteps, right? That's what we're supposed to do, right? That's the whole hip thing. Follow Joe. Hashtag follow Joe. Pop a glassware. I am taking a little bit of time with this, guys. I just want you to know this because it is a crowler. And I just wanted to make sure I didn't stir anything crazy up by the end of this and be like, oh, it's an amazing beer. It's like a 10 out of 10. You know, just to that last 3 sips. Oh, shit. No. It's smooth. Damn it, I missed what you just said. Sorry about that. Just say it again. Copy, paste. Boom. Done. It's nice. It's drinkable. It has a kind of this new age New England IPA kind of vibe to it. Without the sweetness, though. Remember that, without the sweetness. And then it comes and kind of finishes like, oh, how can I describe this so it makes perfect sense? I'm having a hard time describing this so it makes perfect sense, because usually you can just say it's this style blended with this style and everyone understands it. It's like a New England IPA without the sweetness, mixed in with a little bit of creek in there. You got it? That makes sense, Craig? Can you picture that, what I'm saying? Because that's what it's kind of doing right now. That kind of, you know what I mean? And that creek kind of comes out at the end, where you're like, oh, a little tart cherry going on there. That's pretty fun. But yeah, that's what it's kind of coming off as. Yeah. You're still on the funnel cake thing? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna... Yeah. Don't worry. Come over here. We'll get you a proper funnel cake. You get to see women with beards. It'll be amazing. It's like being in basically Devon, England. It's the same thing, except it's America, so it's better. Yeah. Urban Viking. He's like a big woman with a beard. Makes sense. Yeah. Anyway. I ended up listening to music for a second. Basically what I'm doing is I'm spending way too long, like the Clueless Drinker does, Peter. I'm spending way too long talking about a boring beer. If you really want to put it into actual fucking logical science here. It's okay. It's an okay beer. It starts out with a nice bit of fruit. Translates into a little bit of cherry cranberry note to the back end. You still got those oils from those hops working away on your palate, giving a little bit of bitterness, dryness, but it doesn't get overly bitter. It's super drinkable. Unfortunately, it just lacks pizzazz, bombastic qualities that should be in there to give it that dessert-like tone. But it's good. It's a good beer. I definitely, if you were in the area, there's 2 different locations. The production facility, which is on the north side of the real Pittsburgh, Matt, and then a little bit more on the south side is where the tap house is, where we were. I definitely recommend you give it a go. I would definitely probably recommend you order something else first. Let this warm up, because obviously you're going to want to try to get every ounce of the bready quality as you can. And it's hard to do that when it's super cold. But when it warms up, as I put it in boiling water, so I should know, it has amazing hop qualities that comes out and just hits you in the face. It's really fun. Nice nose on it too. A little bit of musty dustiness though. After I kept drinking it, giving me a little bit of that peach vibe too. But other than that, absolutely great. Good drinking experience. I just had a little bit of burp there while I was trying to drink. Totally didn't get any on myself, so it's pretty good. Yeah. Well, that's been the Hole Punch Jelly Donut IPA from Hitchhiker Brewing Company. 7% alcohol by volume. It lacks a lot. What it has is nice. Again, ends in a nice tart cherry cranberry kind of vibe. Starts off with a little bit of grapefruit juice, tangerine, a little bit of lemon. That whole middle, man. I don't know. I had two beers from them when I was there. It's the same thing. The middle just lacks. It starts, gets really boring, and then finishes nice. I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? It's an odd beer. The whole thing about it's odd, but I almost drank 32 ounces in this beer review. I'm not trying to take my time, guys. I'm really trying to power. Look, this is it. That's 32 ounces in what? Under 20 minutes. I'm not trying to delineate as much as possible or anything like that. I'm not trying to, like Peter makes 17-minute videos talking about a 12-ounce bottle of a Helles beer. I'm really trying to pull something out of this, guys. Yeah. The thing is though, the malt base that's kind of pulling that, kind of giving that nice medium body. It has kind of this wet, grainy breadiness. It's kind of this soggy. It's not the freshest, most brightest, nice toasted bread kind. If you know what I mean, like that kind of quality. It has kind of this wet, soggy bread kind of. Bleh. You know what I mean? It's not. It's bland. It's very blah. And the only thing that's making it less blah is the really bright beginning and nice tart end. Other than that, it's just it. You know what I mean? It's one of those beers that it's not gonna get a good score from me because it doesn't deserve it. And if it didn't have that bright beginning and that kind of tart, interesting end, it would get even less of a score. So now I can get all the Hitchhiker lovers to dislike the video. So that's always fun. I was really looking forward to this too. And it's got a nice burp. It does. It has a nice burp. We already hit 19 minutes. That's too much. So, for the Hole Punch Jelly Donut IPA, 7% alcohol by volume. There we go, from the Hitchhiker. Pick up a Hitchhiker. Really cool the Crowler, though. Crowler is kind of like the way to go, so I'm really happy that Crowler, because I picked up 3 Crowlers. But this beer, I'm going to give... shit. I don't think it really... It's going to be over 20 minutes, I know. I really don't think it kind of fits the name. I don't, anyway, by what I'm tasting. So I'm going to give it a 7. A 7. That's what I'm going to give it. A 7. It's drinkable. It's interesting. It's nuancy. There's different things going on, but there's things I don't like about it, and it certainly doesn't hit the name. The hammer with the nail. Head doesn't. So there you go. I'm gonna give it a 7. 7 out of 10. But I would think, yeah, absolutely. If you're in the area, if you're actually down there in the real Pittsburgh, Matt, and actually you see that shit, give it a go. Try it. Let me know what you think. If you've had this before, absolutely let me know what you think. See if maybe different versions of it, or at the brewery, or fresher, and this and that, blah, blah, blah. You get that kind of desserty, sweet bread. That'd be great. Cheers, Craig. This has been Paul from PABrewNews. With Craig signing out with a cheers, I'll sign out too. Cheers. Have a good one. Bye-bye. I'll drink it first. Bye-bye. Well, that finger, it's the different thing. Finger. You have to deal with it. Deal with the finger.